That was Instrumental by the band Black Country New Road. That was from their 2021 album For the First Time, released on Ninja Tune Records. I love that album. That's one of my 5 out of 5 albums. I just cannot stop talking about that album. I have it on vinyl and cassette. Yeah, I'm a music nerd. Anyways, happy start of fall to all the listeners out there. Good afternoon, listeners of Coffee Noise. I'm your host, DJ Marlin, and if you can't believe it, it's Tuesday once again. Howdy out there. Today is September 26, 2023. Let's get a look at our weather for today. Right now in the city of Edinburgh, we are at 95 degrees. That's going to be the high for today. And the low is of 77 degrees. So not intensely hot, but it is still warm. I am wearing a flannel shirt. I'm going to be honest. I look good in flannels, alright? Anyways, alright. We have a lot of music coming out this Friday. I am definitely looking forward. This is going to be a big music Friday. Let's run them down. Actually, let's see. Let me tell you, I'm feeling like a kid on Christmas morn. I'm like waiting eagerly to hear these albums. I'm like, man, oh man, this is gonna be like whoosh. A lot of good music. Let's look into this. Let's see. We're getting the brand new Animal Collective record, Waiting for the Rain. Looking forward to that. Arm & Hammer are back with the new album, We Buy Diabetic Test Strips. I definitely love that hip-hop, that style of hip-hop. I mean, what's his name? Billy Woods, and forgot the other person's name, but they're just, if you haven't heard that Billy Woods album with Kenny Segal, what's it called? Something with the airplanes. I forgot, but if you haven't heard Billy Woods, definitely check him out. Probably, he's gonna be the next up. He's gonna be like one of the best rappers, alongside like West Side Gun and whatnot. He's up there, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. We also have a new record by Blonde Redhead, Sit Down for Dinner. Definitely gonna be looking forward to that. Code Orange is coming back with The Above, and then my favorite pick, besides the Animal Collective, the legendary electronic artist One of Tricks Point Never is releasing again. I cannot wait for that. And then there's that new Ed Sheeran album. If you're into Ed Sheeran, look. If you're into Ed Sheeran, no offense, but like you should probably look into some different music. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be honest. You have to look into some new music. And then we also got a new word today of a new album from the shoegaze artist Asian Glow. The new album Unwired Detour coming out in November 10th of this year. If you haven't heard Asian Glow, I don't know what you're doing. It's amazing shoegazy noise rock. If you're into what's that band called? Paranol? Is that Japanese or Korean shoegaze? I'm sorry if that sounds wrong. I forgot who they are, but definitely I've been getting into that very noisy shoegaze sound. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't know why you wouldn't like it though. Shoegaze is probably one of the most important genres of the 90s and still of today. Look at what's that Texas band Glare? They're pretty good. I heard their EP is like 4-track remaster. That was really good. What's that? Maps. That was called Billy Woods and Kenny Segal. The album Maps. Just check out his entire discography. Brass, Church, Maps, Hiding Places is probably one of my favorites. Actually, I think my favorite album of Billy Woods is gonna be Maps. The whole album. He samples Aphex Twin on this album. It's amazing. If you haven't heard Billy Woods, I cannot stress this enough. Gotta check it out. You just have to check Billy Woods out. Whew, wait, that's got me riled up. Anyways, let's get back into the music. This track goes out to my friend Gael. How you doing out there, man? I know you like Boys of Canada, so here it is, Boys of Canada. This is the track Zoetrope from their 2000 EP, A Place Out in the Country, released on Warp Records. Alright, and you just heard Your Arms Are My Cocoon. That track was called Foster Nosferatu. It's from 2021. I've been getting into that fifth wave emo kind of sound. Bands like Your Arms Are My Cocoon, Home Is Where, Dogleg, Glass Beach, Awake But Still in Bed. I've been getting into that new style of emo. It's not new, it's more of a, I guess you could say revival. That new Home Is Where album, The Wailer, it's amazing. It's 35 minutes long. It's just a great album. And also the EP, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, if you're into the music side of the internet, I Became Birds, released in 2021. It is good. Speaking of this, Your Arms Are My Cocoon album, I have the cassette tape. I believe it was a deluxe. You cannot find it on Discogs. I think the last time I saw someone selling on Discogs, they wanted like close to like $100 or something. It was like an outrageous number. But then again, it was released on a small independent label. I think it was Dismiss Yourself. I think it was the name of the label. Your Arms Are My Cocoon. That was released solo, but when it was on pressing and the available copy on Bandcamp, especially the deluxe version. That's a Bandcamp exclusive. It doesn't really add any new tracks, more of live renditions. I believe there was one they played live at MechaFest. That was a really good live album, and I did like that sound. Alright, let's talk real quickly. Buying physical music. I know a lot of people say, why would you buy physical music? It's 2020 something. Why are you going to buy physical music? Let me tell you why. Streaming services, I feel like streaming services take the fun out of listening to music. I mean, let's be honest. What was the first album you heard when you got Spotify or Apple Music or something? A lot of people really can't say it because it's so easy. You just become so disillusioned, It's like, you can have like a couple 100,000 albums saved to yourself to your Spotify, Apple Music, but like how many times you're actually going to go through them and be like, oh yeah, this album, it was this time and this and that. When I buy records or CDs, there's or cassette tapes, there's something special about it. Like, oh, I bought this was my first record. It was an exclusive pressing. I have albums. My ambient vaporwave album, Towers. I have 2 of those, and it was out of pressing of 250. So I have 2 out of 250 of that records. And I seen people. I remember at the height of that sale, someone was selling it close to like $600. I saw on eBay. I'm never gonna sell my Towers album. That's like one of my favorite ambient albums. Not my favorite. I think one of my favorite ambient albums would probably be something like William Basinski, which is, I'm just gonna say, he's one of the goats of the ambient music genre. If you ever heard what's that? The tape. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you know, and that's like one of my favorite albums. But yeah, I feel like also when you buy the music, you're actually supporting an artist. Cause look how little Spotify pays per song. You're getting like less than a penny. So say I buy an album from Bandcamp, $10. It's so Bandcamp may only take maybe, let's call it 30%. The band still takes $7. How many times do you have to stream a song for the same band to hit $7? It takes a lot. And I know other streaming services, they pay more, like Tidal, which I use, but still, given the chance, I'd say buy the album. And people are like, but I still want to listen to it digitally. Well, you still can. Just get a CD ripper or connect your turntable, if you have one, to an external hard drive or writer, and you can just rip the music onto a hard drive. That's what I've been doing recently on my personal collection at home. But sometimes getting a CD out, you want the whole deluxe edition. As I heard it, there's a YouTube channel I like, Darko Audio. He does a lot of high grade audiophile stuff. I love that stuff. I could never afford it because I'm not willing to drop close to $1,000. No, actually $2,000 on a pair of speakers. I'm just not. I only got maybe like $5,000 in my bank account, and that's gotta save me for, if anything, $5,000. What can you buy with $5,000 in this economy? Well, you could buy sparkling water. I didn't drink coffee today. I did have a coffee earlier, but I didn't bring it right now. So I'm having one of these bubbly caffeine ones. Mango passion fruit. A lot of people give hate to sparkling water. If you hate sparkling water, I don't like you. Sparkling water is good, it's a little bubbly flavor. Oh, there you go, name. Anyway, let's talk about the next 2 tracks we'll be playing off to finish this half of the hour. We're gonna start off with some classic Midwestern emo by the band Unamused Dave, the track Na 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 Boo Boo. And then we're gonna wrap it up with Underwater Boy by Turnstile from their 2021 album Glow On. Alright, let's get into it. Welcome back, listeners. It is now 3:01. Let's see. So recently, this Sunday, it marks 2 weeks since I've had a puppy, and let me tell you, a lot of it's kind of annoying. So Sammy likes to sleep next to me, and when I mean sleep next to me, I mean he likes to jump onto my bed. I don't mind it, but sometimes in the middle of the night, it's like 3 in the morning, and he's almost biting my ear. I need to train little Sammy. He's like maybe 12, maybe 15 weeks at this point old. Yeah, he needs to stop biting my ear because it's painful, and yeah, I would like to keep my ear in check and everything like that. But you know what? I don't mind it. He is a small dog. We think he's like part Chihuahua. He's part Chihuahua, part something. At this point, he's technically a mutt because we don't know what he is. But yeah, he is a very small little bugger. I like him though. Anyways, let's talk about the next 2 tracks we'll be playing for right now. First track would be Darkness and Cold from the American band Purple Mountains. This comes from their 2019 album with the same name, Purple Mountains, released on Drag City Records. David Berman, well known for his work in the band Silver Jews that lasted from the 90s it was actually the late 80s to the late 2000s. It was 2007 when the band broke up. They released this album. It's probably one of my favorite David Berman albums. I mean, I love the entire Silver Juice discography, especially what's that album called? It's that album with the song like in 1984 I was hospitalized for being close to perfection. I love that album, but Purple Mountains, it really hits a nice key spot in how it sounds. It's very emotionally raw, which I feel like a lot of people, it's kind of difficult to get into that mindset. As people say, like, oh, if you want emotionally raw music, listen to Ed Sheeran. Actually, now coming back to that, I'm sorry, but like a lot of you people who say like, oh, I listen to every genre except rap and country. I'm sorry, you're kind of annoying. I mean, I'm a pretentious music nerd, but like, y'all are sometimes annoying. Like, we get it. You don't listen to mainstream music. You think you're all cool because you listen to Brockhampton. Brockhampton is mainstream. I mean, I like Brockhampton. I mean, I really do. I mean, that last album they did, not TM. I did like that one, but the one before that, I can't remember on top of my head. But, you know, that one was good. But, like, yeah, like, sure, we get it. You like a lot of bands from the 80s. You like new wave. That doesn't make you special or anything like that. But, you know what? I digress. No, let's just kick it off to Purple Mountains. Here it is. Alright, and you just heard Aphex Twin. Most arguably one of the goats in the electronic music scene. That was from this year's EP, which is difficult to say. You know, it's a weird, almost like a computer program name. The EP is titled Black Box Life Recorder 21F / in a Room 7 F760. It's an EP. I mean, this EP marks, I think it was his first release of new music since the 2016 EP Cheetah, both of which were released on Warp Records. The music video for this track, Black Box Life Recorder 21F, I think it was animated by the what's their name? Weirdcore. Very confusing animations, and also the NTS performance. They did a live stream, or it's now on YouTube. You know, sometimes at college, I just like watching his DJ sets, and they're like, wow, they're like get really intricate, like all the lights, the animation. There's that one, I think it was like in London. I think it was the London Works live set. They played 20 from the album Selected Ambient Works 2. I love that track. I mean, that track, or Stoned and Focus, which is not on digital. It was only on the vinyl pressing of the album because it just couldn't be fit onto the CD. Since the CD, which I have, is a double CD, but they only had so much limited space, so they could never put Stoned and Focus. And I wish they can. I wish they would put it on streaming, because that track, I mean, I can't even count how many times I've used that track to fall asleep. It's very calming. I mean, once I took a nap here at the library, I played it, and I had a weird dream. I was like waking up and then falling over, but then continuously, like in a loop. Very weird stuff. But you know what? I did like it. Interesting stuff there. You know, electronic music. Yeah, I've been getting into some electronic music. I mean, obviously, Aphex Twin, Autechre. I mean, those are ghosts. I mean, Warp Records. I mean, try to name a better mainstream record label than Warp Records. You just can't. I mean, one of the most important record labels, I would say, besides, man, I can't even think of any record labels. I mean, yeah, there's other labels, but like for electronic music, I mean, unless you count like the big name, you know, record labels like Universal Music Group. Like, I don't want to get into that because I don't really call them. They're more conglomerates, but whatever. I mean, the electronic music I have Aphex Twin, Autechre. I'm saying this as a loop. Yves Tumor. I love his album. Love his music. I mean, it's like, wow, it's really in depth. It's almost like how would I describe Yves Tumor's music? Their music is very hypnotic, artistic. I don't know. It's very difficult to say what their music is like, you know? And I tried listening to the album to give a rating. It's still difficult. I don't think I've actually fully gave it a rating. I mean, I have a rating on Rate Your Music, but I don't know if I want to keep that. It's so difficult, intricate, such a beautiful album. Very beautiful album. So I don't know, you know? I guess I could go into detail, like full-on review. At that point, I don't think I would need a rating. It would need like a proper, full-on written description on how good it is, which honestly, I wouldn't be against it because, yeah, you know, it's like I said, I'm talking like a broken record. It sounds amazing. Anyways, new album I've listened to, not really new because it's already been out for decades. The new remastered version of Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads. I love Talking Heads. I want to see the concept film. I know I think that you can watch it at the Edinburgh AMC, like down the expressway. I need to see that movie. I mean, I love David Byrne. I mean, Talking Heads, one of the most important artistic bands of the 80s. I don't think that's something that a lot of people would say, well, this or that. Like, no, it just is. It really is. Let's see. Before we get into the last track, which is going to be some nice classic bossa nova by one of the legendary artists, Yao Gilberto, from the 1977 album Amoroso. I want to shout out my friend Gael, who got me into an album, this was like from 2 weeks ago, by Sun Ara and Gengras and the Congos. I don't know how to say it, but it's like a weird African soul funk inspired album. I don't know what the sound is. It's drenched in reverb sound. It's like, I was listening to while working out, and it was like, I had to stop myself because I was like, whoa, I want to hear that part again. It was like, wow, it was like, I don't know how to say it. I mean, it's really, I've been into that, especially in this time, especially in the late summer months. If you need to listen to some nice music, listen to like some African jazz music. Ethiopian jazz. I know it's a whole meme, music nerds and Ethiopian jazz, but yeah, it just is. I mean, there's that one track, Ethiopics, they do a lot of compilation albums. That's like, wow, it's so relaxing. Anyway, last track, we're gonna go into some bossa nova, because I love Brazilian jazz. It's a nice warm day. Let's play some nice warm music. Here is Yao Gilberto. Alright, and you just heard the track Bésame Mucho by Yao Gilberto. The album was from 1977, like I said, Amoroso. It was, the orchestral arrangement was done by Klaus Ogerman. I mean, the whole album, it's another 5 out of 5 album for me. I need to get this album on vinyl. I've seen the prices online. There's a few good prices for like $50. I mean, this is like a personal grail. I mean, my goal is to collect every album that I rate 5 out of 5, which is not that many. Out of like my 1900 ratings on Rate Your Music, only around 30 have gotten that. Actually, no, more like 26, 27, because 2 of them were like boxes. No, one's a deluxe. The other one's a box that was the microphone set. The microphones. I should maybe look into that for next week. Anyways, as usually, this week's playlist is available on my Instagram stories. You can follow me there at Rigo Hates Art. Like I said, every week, the playlist is done on both Spotify and Apple Music because I use both. Apple Music, they do the high res. The thing is, AirPods can't do that. AirPods cannot stream at CD quality. I don't know why they try to bait you with that, but they just can't, And no offense to AirPods, I like using AirPods. Anyway, so that wraps up today's shows, but stay tuned to Vacay Radio, the Valley Student Station. See y'all next week. Goodbye.